This is Ouch My Wallet, hosted by Robert Simmons, a production of the TFYLP Network.
Now I don't look like Casper the Ghost.
All right, well, hello and welcome to Ouch My Wallet, part of the TFYLP Network. I am your host, as always, Rob, and with me today we have Jack.
Howdy, howdy.
A.k.a. Casper, as he introduced himself.
Yeah. I looked white.
We have Paul.
Hello.
And we have Mr. Lucas.
Hey.
All right, so who wants to kick us off today for this round? Oh, just I guess for anyone who doesn't know what the show is, we just talk about our recent toy purchases, 99% Transformers or Transformers-related crap. So, yeah. Who wants to kick it off? Takers? All right, Paul.
I'll go. You know I'll go. So last time we played this game, it was pretty fun, and I'm back for round two. I'm gonna start with something a little off the usual path for me. I got some third-party stuff.
Oh,
I got a ghost. I got a spooky ghost.
It's
Look, he's got his hands
ghost.
out. This is that New Age figure, the New Age Seeker. It's Starscream. I don't care what the stupid name is. It's Ghost Starscream. I really like this mold. It's quite good, except if I had to poo-poo on one thing, the feet were made badly. It needs a back brace sort of thing. Do you have this, Lucas? Did you end up getting it?
No, I ended up getting out of Legends, so
Okay.
yeah, no.
Well, the thing is on the feet here, it's really back heavy, and it's really hard to get it to stand because there's this junk in the trunk sort of thing. I actually have Megatron's gun plugged into the back there. Anyways, it's still a great toy, and this is the Ghost version, and that's not all. I'm gonna do 2 for 1. This showed up today. This is
Wow.
the Golden Lagoon version.
Is that in gold plastic, or is it gold chrome, or what is it? How'd they do it?
I was messing with some bots today, and it's almost like the spitting image of what they do for the bots, the gold bots in series 4 and 5. Well, this is a mix of plastic and painted and like full on paint, and there's some gold chrome on the feet and the thrusters even. Like really
shiny.
Really blingy. It's really nice. So it's almost like a more perfected version of the Golden Lagoon Takara toys that came out, because they had almost like an orange quality to the plastic, and this is better as a tan, sort of a almost copper. It might have some shimmery bits to it. You can see that I'm talking about the thighs versus like the legs.
So the legs are painted and the thighs are just cast in that color.
Yeah. And then on the side here, there's another. That's pretty good.
Oh,
You
now I
see
see it.
there. I think it's basically the soft plastic, which might be PVC, and then the hard plastic I know is ABS. I think that's the difference. I know that these parts that are not painted would die well. The other ones probably would not, because they're a different composition. So I think they don't paint that ABS stuff or PVC. I don't know. I'm not a plastic guy. I'm saying wrong stuff. But this toy is so great, and the paint job looks amazing. And he's got the little smirk and everything. His eyes are actually, I think they're silver. Yeah, just the eye sockets are silver. You can't see it in this thing, but I really like these New Age toys. Got them from Show Z. I think I pre-ordered this a while ago, so I think I got like one of their last shipments that got out of the country before they nixed it. Because I saw some notice that said they're not shipping anymore.
I'm still waiting on my gravestone that the first one they shipped back like late December or early January, and that one died in customs in China. And they shipped me another one in early March, which has not moved since the 9th
Of
and-
April.
of
Is
March.
it here? Is it in the U.S. or in China?
It says it's in China. Yeah, the guy from Show Z said
Yeah.
no, it has left China, but I was like, when I'm reading the tracking, it says that it arrived in Shanghai, and it's sitting there. And Show Z has said that like there's so few planes going out now that it's literally everything is just sitting there waiting to go.
Yeah.
And so once it's 45 days with no update, they will send me a third one. So I gotta wait like another week, you know. But it's one of those. If it's gonna end up the same thing, I'll probably end up having to return one, or it'll get returned, or something.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's a toy. Shows he's not gonna rip me off. I will eventually get my X-Transbots gravestone, but you know,
Eventually.
yeah,
Yeah,
It
they'll
might
make
be
it
5
right.
years, but no, I'll still get it.
I have a really important package that's that's just sitting there in Japan now. It's like didn't get out 2 days before they made a change.
man.
It's just really sucks. But oh well.
It's the least
One
of
last
our
thing about
worries.
this. Yeah, it's toys.
Yeah.
I'll live. So with that Ghost Starscream, it came with a little bit of accessories
Yeah.
for the
A little bit.
original one, and now King Starscream is here to save.
Oh,
the-
nice.
Da-da-da.
So this is the original, which I've had for a while, and now I added the new head and the shoulder things and the cape, which is pretty reminiscent of the MP12 release. So all in all, a good day for Starscream fans
So
in my house.
I had a question about the translucent ones. I haven't messed with that toy, and translucent plastic, is not our favorite. Or is there anything
Yeah.
involved in the transformation that's like, you know what, probably shouldn't transform this toy much because it's going to crack? That's just the nature of translucent plastic. Or do you think it matches with that
I don't
pretty
know.
well?
I don't that old, I'm going to call it an old wives' tale about clear plastic. I just have never really had it be a problem
I
for me
have.
ever.
I've had a couple of figures where like those are the parts that go, or I don't know. I feel like you can
Plastic.
feel the difference in hand too. Like if you're moving something that's translucent versus not, like you can tell the difference in solidity there. And it's just again,
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of the same way, like with translucent plastic, where like I had those Planet X Insecticons, like their joints are made out of clear plastic for
really.
God knows what reason, but it was actually pretty solid.
Oh yeah.
When I had it, there was no issues, but I don't know, like over time, like if potentially there'd be issues.
Like a recent one that occurred to me was if you remember Energon Hot Shot. the Energon Hot Shot mold powered up by Energon has its windows and roofs are clear, and then they were painted over it.
Oh,
And,
yes.
I sold it on eBay, and as I was packaging up, I was like, "Son of a bitch!" And like one of the tabs in there was cracked. Took a picture, emailed the guy.
Yeah,
He's like, "I'll pass." I was like, "Cool," but I glued it back, relisted it, and it was like, "This has been repaired. Here's the images." And somebody else bought it, whatever. But
Yeah.
I've run into issues with it.
I maybe remember because this comes in jet mode and I transformed it. I think I remember having a thought like, "Ooh, I'm never transforming this
Yeah.
again."
I mean, you have two other.
But I
versions
keep
of
my
it.
stuff in robot
Yeah.
mode. Yeah, I keep them in robot mode, and you can see like the thighs are like a lot cloudier.
Yeah.
They're probably made to be more sturdy because most of the weight kind of like leans on those.
Yeah, I was gonna say go on those.
In general, though, like the paint apps are awesome. The colors on the plastic are awesome. This is one of the best clear toys I've ever played with. So I'm all in on this. I don't love third party toys, but I gotta say these are really, really nice. I'm very impressed with them.
Yeah, the new age figures, like they've really increased the prices lately, but the quality has been really stellar. Like that the Megatron that they had too is a really stellar toy. And like some people criticized the legs and hips on the Megatron, and they actually went back to the drawing board, redid the hips, and I think that they put them with Thundercracker or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're actually distributing new hips because people said, "Oh, it's not good enough," and so they're like, "All right, we'll try it again,"
Yep.
Cool.
which is cool.
Well, I got the black and gold one coming too, which I think is also clear. It's like at least cloudy. So I think I will have all the Starscreamy versions of that mold after that. Unless they keep making them,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna keep buying
Did
them.
you pick up the Magic Square ones or no?
Yeah, I did, and it sucks.
Okay,
Like compared to this, it's like, are you kidding? This is a
I
GoBot.
can't remember which one sucked. Like I know there were
It
two,
is Magic
and one of them. I mean, and even then people weren't like, "Oh, it's the world's worst piece of trash." They're just like, "This isn't great. This is a step down." But
I think it's one of those things where they actually, I think they came out with like a 3-pack for like $90 or something.
it's a lot cheaper. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And but the thing is like I don't feel like that the Magic Square ones are any better than the old DX9 ones. So it's like if you already had the DX9,
You're
9
set.
ones, it's like what's the point of getting that?
I mean, Anna would debate with me like, "Oh, it's good. It's better because it's weird." But like, I just think it's a hands down. 99 people out of 100 will say this is not as good as the New Age one. And if the New Age one didn't exist, I would probably say this is just fine. It's awesome. But now that I have them both in hand, and I don't do a lot of that, this company's better than that company sort of thing. I think they all suck, but this one is not good.
Well, since you mentioned that he's like a GoBot, I'm gonna jump in.
All right.
I bought a lot off of eBay, and I'm gonna spin through a few of them real quick here. But like, here's a black GoBot named Slicks. You'll never guess how I know what his name is. Oh wait, it's right there on his chest.
I was like, what?
There's a tailgate was in there for whatever reason. These two guys that I don't know who they are. I wish Peter were here to tell us. I mean, maybe one of you guys know, but I suspect this.
No.
Like, there's no stamping that I could find on it, like a Tonka or Bandai or
They
anything
look
like.
familiar to me.
Yeah, I mean they're
but that's
definitely
it.
GoBot-ish. This guy's kind of just weird. He's gold with nothing in the back. Like you remember those? I don't know if there's a part missing or if that's just how it is.
There has to be a part missing, I bet.
Yeah, it must have been like an engine or something.
Yeah, like maybe it's like weapon or something.
Yeah. But none of those were the reason I bought it. I mean, I spent $20 on the lot, but I finally have corrected a
What was
Graven
in-
Justin, and I finally have a turbo.
Sweet.
Wow, a $20 turbo, huh?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good deal. Like, go look at eBay for turbos that aren't in complete, like, just garbage shape, and you're spending.
Oh, you got me interested.
You spend $20-$30 to get a decent looking turbo, something like that. So finally I was like, oh, I found a lot, and I can probably put a couple of these in my collection and shovel the rest of the buy pile. And this was still cheaper than buying any of the good turbos out there because none of his wheels are cracked. That's super common. And he's like almost all GoBots, their paint wear and chrome wear is really, really bad. And like his paint wear, like, because this is all, the front is all die cast, so it's really prone to chipping because I don't know about you guys, but I beat the hell out of my GoBots as a kid. More than my Transformers even. I guess because they were cheaper, and you just treat them crappy or something. But no, this guy's really nice. I mean, he has a few paint chips on the back, but I don't care about that near as much. And again, he has all his tires. That was kind of the big thing. There's nothing broken on him.
The only GoBot I had when I was a kid was just the preschool ones from like 2002.
That's because you're like 15 years younger than us.
So
Yeah, Jack, I got that toy for my 3rd birthday.
Do you still have your turbo in package?
No, but I when you pulled that up, it dawned on me like, ooh, that looks really nice. Like that looks brand new.
No, he's like I was. It's one of those. It's not one I have a search set up for, but like once a week or so, I'll think like, hey, I'll go see if there's any turbos out there that no one snatched up that are cheap. And I was like, oh man, I looked at the picture. I was like, that's actually decent quality. The lot was $20 or 25 shipped, something like that. And I was like, that's done. And I can probably get $10-15 out of the because I already got a slicks and a tailgate. I don't need those. I'm probably get $10 out of those after shipping and eBay fees and crap. It's like, man, that's a good deal. That's good Dononomics right there.
There you go.
Is that tailgate original?
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
I mean, you should be able to sell that for the lot. I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, it's not the keychain version, I can tell you that. But like the sticker has a little wear on it, which tells me that like it's probably an original. Because if it was a reissue, probably a collector buys it, and you're not gonna have sticker wear of that nature on it.
If it was a reissue, it'd be pretty obvious though. Like, yeah, it wouldn't have wear on it at all. And there's some tells. Like the reissues have like different paint apps.
I'll have to compare it with because what I have in my collection is the keychain one, and I just haven't compared it. And there's a little like wear on the chrome, but it's nothing excessive, but it's there. But it's a decent looking tailgate. So
It's Tailgate, man. He's popular now with the latest.
Well, that's right, because of the IDW, even though he has nothing to do in common with that and barely even looks like that character. But, that, or I might keep this one and get rid of my keychain reissues. That was one of the first things I bought back in the day, were the keychain reissues, so I've thought about swapping them out for originals for a long time. Maybe now's the day, because it's $10. Whatever.
There you go.
Day's the day.
All right, Jack or Lucas? Come on.
Lucas, go ahead.
All right, so this isn't all that exciting, I guess, because you guys have the same stuff. But I got a couple more Seacons in from Hasbro Pulse, so they are in fact shipping stuff. So I've been excited about that. So I'm getting ever closer to completing my set. So I got them in ARM mode or both of them in ARM mode or whatever, because I was like combining them together. But
You were lifting weights.
yes, that's right.
Well, do we want to go ahead and talk about Piranacon then? That's actually the thumbnail of this episode.
I figured.
Yeah. I was kind of holding out on it. Do we want to go like that? Because I know you've played with yours and you have all but 1 foot, so you got enough to mess with it and test it out. I was going to talk about it at some point, so.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had any issues with it. Like, I like these guys as the arms. I think they're really neat. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably review them in more detail on microcasters, but yeah, no, I think that these are both neat figures, and I don't know. I didn't really have big issues with the combined mode like you did, but again, I don't know. I'm kind of just my scale, in general, Combiner Wars, I know that those combiners are not the most stable things in the world.
Yeah.
So, for me, at the end of the day, I combine it all up and then I have it standing on my shelf, and that's pretty much it. It's not, I'm not going to be like Anna where she tries to put it in some funky pose.
Stilt mode.
Right.
If you want to see Stilt mode,
stick.
check out Microcasters from last week. I don't think it's on YouTube yet. But
not yet. It'll be here in a couple days. But
yeah. So what did you think of? Well, what were their names? Lobclaw and I can't remember. Was it Seawing? I can't remember what his name is.
Oh God, you're
Kraken.
Kraken. Release the Kraken. Yeah. I thought they were.
McCracken.
How much of this is new? Do we think Lobclaw? I feel like a lot of it's new, especially all the extra legs.
I mean, I think this is. I mean, obviously the engineering is the same, but I mean, a lot of the shell pieces. I mean, seems like there's no other figure that has these bits and whatnot on it, right?
Yeah, I thought it was neat how they tried to. I mean, I think it works for his arm mode here. They peg in these little flaps too, and it's at first I was like, oh man, that's going to be crappy, but it actually holds in there really well, and. I know some of my Combiner Wars pieces, what do you do with their robot mode arms when they're an arm? And the answer is they just hang there. And I liked that these actually peg in really nicely. They gave them a good spot. So
see, how do you do that? Because I was trying to figure that out the other night, and
it looks like that. I mean, I looked at a picture online, and I was like, oh man, look at them. I mean, I could have used the instructions, but I was just looking at pictures, and I was like, oh hey, those.
Why would I do that?
What it is at the end of his claw, there's a little nub.
I see. I got.
Yeah,
yep.
that little nubbin goes in there, and it's
Nubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he looks so good, and I just love the colors of this altogether.
Is that the I mean, what's the configuration on him supposed to be? What is the official?
This is what the official images show.
The blue arms and the pink and
yes.
Yeah, multicolored feet, kind of, but they still look sort of the same.
And the guy that has purple in him is the gun. Now,
okay.
This is the biggest problem is he cannot hold this. Oh yes, he has a hand, and he's supposed to be able to hold it, and it's made to hold it. But he
just can't.
He just can't. I mean, he can barely even hold his own sword or whatever. So, in typical Combiner Wars faction, his elbow joint are the knees and the hips. They make kind of a double elbow joint. And they just are not strong enough to hold a whole nother figure. Plus, the bottom half of their own figure. What I've seen some people do is they turn it sideways, so there's nothing to go down, and then you can, If you put the arm out, then it's the ratchet isn't strong enough to hold it at the shoulder, so that'll usually keep it from weighing down. But I don't know if if you left it sitting there holding the gun up for a year, if that ratchet would start to eventually give away.
Well, like the way you can kind of cross the arm over, like to where it's like kind of, say the gun is on top of his other arm, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Like
so you
that.
can kind of do that
Kinda
too.
like that, so
yeah,
you're kind of using a little bit of that, so it's not just completely on the hips, and it rests on there kind of like that.
right. Yeah.
And now I'm having trouble getting him to stand again. It's you gotta get that pelvic thrust going on, and then it's all right. But
Yeah.
and yes, you definitely saw a cattail, Rodimus. that's
Yow.
that's Yoshi. He likes to visit when, especially when I'm doing this. He'll always at some point come up and try to nuzzle my headset off.
He's like, I want to be famous. Let me on.
So how'd you get the whole set of Seacons already, Rob?
Jesus, really? You're gonna try that passive, innocent question?
Where'd you find that stuff, man? Lucas doesn't have them.
I got them from Collecticon Toys. That
Dun,
helps
dun,
me collect
dun.
toys.
See, that's the
That's
problem is I should have ordered my stuff through Collecticon instead of Hasbro, then I'd have it all now. So,
And
But you did.
Well, I was listening to the show from yesterday that you guys did. I was doing it today when I was getting groceries, and it sounded like Rob, you were saying how your foot tab, like you were having trouble getting it to click or whatever. You were like, oh man, that's really tough.
yeah,
to push
we didn't
this.
realize there was an ankle pivot in there, and then when we did, it was like, oh,
wow.
Well, but what didn't you say you really had to push it?
yes.
I wonder if that's a difference in like the tooling for the Japanese ones versus the U.S. ones, because everyone else in the discussion didn't seem to have to push that hard.
Oh, y'all totally
So that was just
did.
a thought I had.
Didn't you, Lucas? Like once we found that ankle
I
tip,
still had to push it pretty hard. Like it's still like I
yeah.
mean, it's still pretty solid.
Okay, so maybe there is no difference, but I just was like, hey, I wonder, when I was listening to you guys.
Yeah, it was one of those things we didn't actually realize, but like on the foot, like you can tell that there's like a little ratchet thing in there.
Mhm.
So that's where I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll try it because since Ron mentioned in the chat that you could do that, so
Yeah.
Which is always, one of the fun parts of doing these shows live is you think something, and then you say it, and then somebody's like, "Nah, dog," and it's like, "Sweet." I mean,
Yeah.
I like learning
that was fun.
more
Thank you, Ron.
things.
Oh,
Yeah, I ain't mad about it, but no, yeah, there he is in his glory.
I mean, I think
Looks awesome.
some, the figure in general is like the culmination of Combiner Wars. Like, I think that's like the best possible iteration that we're gonna get of of those molds. You know what I mean? Like, I think if they ever like redo it, they're gonna have to come up with something new. Like, I'm sure that there's probably innovation that they can do, but on these molds, I think this is about as far as you can get.
So, on my trend of pointing out my annoyances with the set, even though again like 90%, I'd give this a solid like B+ or A- as a set, and I'm trying to overcorrect for my just love of Seacons and those colors. The combined sword, I hate that and I understand why they didn't paint the handles, and so there's 4 handles that are all different colors, which really kind of break the look of the sword. Which is a shame. Like, if it'd be nice if it was all silver, or if they'd at least, since they were going to paint 90% of it, if it had been cast in a gray plastic or something, but instead it matches something else on each of those figures, and I think it kind of takes away from the look.
What I think is kind of funny about the sword is that Victorion came with a sword that like kind of looks like the Seacon sword or whatever, Piranacon
yeah,
sword.
actually,
And-
yeah. 'Cause
And like, I think they could have just used that and painted that instead of like coming up with a completely new mold. I mean, what do you guys think? Or do you think that people would have been pissed if they would have done that?
I wouldn't have known.
I could see it, but
I don't remember what it looks like. Really.
sure, I can grab mine. Hold, please. Since mine is right up front.
I mean, how many are we to the point where we're gonna backtrack and be like, "Oh, I wish they hadn't done this cool ass thing and cheaped out"? Like, well, I don't get the posing of the question.
The Victorian sword is actually like really cool. Like, I kind of think I prefer Victorian sword to that one. Is what I'm saying.
I like the look of the sword.
Well, you can use Victorian sword then.
No, I can. Right.
It just didn't come in the boxes.
Like I mean, I like the overall shape of the sword. It looks like a big ass trident. And I like the design of it. I love combining weapons, but I really love combining swords much more than like guns. Because guns, it's usually just plug in more guns into pegs. That is, I think, a cooler looking sword, but this is more of a Piranacon sword.
Yeah, this is. I could see it kind of working if they do reuse it, but I don't think for Piranacon. But
yeah.
And now it's going to be a pain in the ass to get this thing back up because half the Combiner War shelf damn near came out. So.
Oh no. That's why I didn't grab mine.
Uh-oh.
It's what we do for the love of our craft.
Might as well. Some sacrifice had to be made.
Yeah. All right, so Jack.
All right. Well, I did look. I think it's actually been like a month since I last been on this, so I don't think this guy's been made an appearance. So I did find Earthrise Starscream. Finally, sticking to Paul's Starscream theme for tonight. So.
Great toy.
But yeah, I absolutely love this. This is like. I'm surprised that they did the upscaled Starscream again because the first time they did it was Studio Series, to where they took Dark of the Moon, bloated it up, changed a few things. It feels like they did this again, but with the Classics version. Again, they just took it, blew it up, changed a few things, and they knocked it out of the park. And I absolutely love this.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, in retrospect, like, the Classics ones look small compared to a lot of mainline figures the sizes they are these days.
Oh yeah.
Where'd you get it, Jack? Or how'd you get it?
I want to say I got it at Target. I think
Really?
That's what it was. Yeah. I think Target had like 2 grapples and then Starscream, and that was the last time I've seen Starscream. So I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, sounds like you got super lucky because I don't think there's been any Earthrise around like anywhere near me for a long time.
I think,
not that I've really gone to look, but I haven't seen anyone else, like being like, "Hey, here it is."
I feel like Target got in a bunch. Like there was, I don't know how long ago. How long ago was that? Was that January?
It was before everything went to shit. Like they started popping up,
Because I know I got Earthrise Hoist, and I got him at the start of February. Because I was in Madison, it was like the first or second weekend of February, and that's when I started noticing that they were finally starting to pop up. So it was about weird. Late January.
It seems weird to me because this is like the first time that Wave 1 has been like nowhere. It was very spotty for like a good 3-4 weeks, and then coronavirus happened, and they've been nowhere.
Yeah, no.
I have not seen anything else for deluxes. Since that weekend in February, pretty much the only thing I've seen for Earthrise has been grapples, obviously besides, Starscream. I haven't found any Starscream since. So I found, I think, 7 or 8 grapples between 3 different stores. And then I finally found Astrotrain and Optimus yesterday at my Walmart. So
holy cow.
Okay, well, so I guess they are dropping at Walmart then, because I have not been to a Walmart since this whole thing went down.
That's like the only store I can really go to besides just a regular grocery store or Target. I cannot go anywhere else besides those.
Right. I just been trying to stick to smaller grocery stores that aren't as busy.
Yeah.
Well, I wondered. I just wanted to ask because it seemed like the only place to get them is online, or there's like the dark horse Best Buy. They've been showing up at Best Buy like after they were at Walmart and
I wanted to check
the Best Buy like a weird thing where like you don't know which figure you're getting when you order it.
Well, only if you buy it online. I'm just saying they're actually showing up in the stores. So now,
right. Best Buys aren't open though.
They've been doing it for a while, like a year or two, maybe 3.
Yeah. But I think Best Buys right now, isn't it like curbside only?
Yes,
think
because
so.
I was just there because I just got a stand for my PS4, and I tried going in, and they're like, "No, stay in your car. We'll bring it. We'll go into the store, find it for you, then we'll bring it out if you want it." And
They also laid off 51,000 employees today,
Man.
or furloughed, whatever you want to call
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
Sounds better if it says furloughed.
All right, so back to Paul.
Oh, okay. Well, more stuff I don't like. Beast Wars.
If you don't like it, I'll take it.
So I got this because the canon is ridiculous. This is Matrix Buster Big Convoy, which was at the car. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go. No, you.
Well, I got this, and this canon is really supposed to go with the anime version that came out last year, and this reissue that it comes with is like I don't know how true, but pretty true to the original toy. The colors are supposed to be like toy accurate. I'm sure there's differences.
I think it looks close, from what I could tell.
What's really cool about this is you can take the Matrix. I don't know if this is a special Matrix, but you can I could try to demonstrate it. You take the Matrix out and the handles curve in. And then you can put it in this little compartment in the cannon. That's why it's called the Matrix Buster.
So
you can actually put it inside here, and then it's like sticking out this end. The jewel is.
Huh.
Just kind of cool. And this the way this fits on is just wild. It goes like right over. It like slides onto the arm. So it's like his fist is right here, and then you got this big wacky handle that comes out, and he's like like Gatling gunning it. It's just such a ridiculous accessory. I had to get this.
I assume it's like the thing he uses in one episode or something to that nature.
Probably. And then there's that little Navi character that it comes with that I think I probably dropped moving this over here. It's this little blue thing. I've never watched Beast Wars Neo or Second. A lot of the Japanese series in that era, that like maybe 5-year
They're
era.
Super anime. Those two are.
Yeah, I just ignored them. But some of the toys are cool.
Definitely.
But I reminded myself how much I do not like this toy.
Really?
Because of the ball joint. I love the way it looks. I think it's really cool. I love the design. I hate the toy. I hate how the panel things all have to line up, and you can't really get it to stand. Like there's 2 ball joints for the feet. So like never, and then you put this giant honking cannon on it, and there's like one position it can stand in. So
yeah.
Just the practicality of the toy, I do not like, but I love the concept, the way it looks. I love the name. I love it in essence more than in reality.
I mean, I love a lot of those, Beast Wars Neo and Second toys. Just like the animal modes look so cool, and they're unique. Like it looks just like a mammoth. It's great.
Yeah, it does.
But it is definitely ball joint shell former hell trying to mess with it, and like getting it to pose. Like I said, everything just collides with everything because he's just got kibble all over the place. And
it's like a Christmas tree with ornaments on it. You can't move that. You're gonna kill someone, or you're gonna kill the cat, or you're gonna step on some broken glass. Or something. Like of all those masterpiece Beast Wars leaders, I would love to see them do this and not make it suck. Now that I just played with this toy, and I've heard people make the argument Big Convoy never needs to get redone. Wrong. It totally needs to get redone.
Yeah.
And it would be awesome. It would be super cool. Try to make the elephant have some articulation, please. Anything.
After having the Masterpiece Lio Convoy, I don't think it would be any better, simply because that's the character design, and that's the problem Leo Convoy has. It's much improved in a lot of ways over the original, but it's still got some of the same issues because that's just how the character is. The character has this big, in robot mode, this big lion ass on one half and his head mane on the other half, and his hands just have these big lion paws on them, or his hands do. I mean, that's how the character is. To do anything else would be inaccurate.
The whole problem with that is the whole reason the Masterpiece toy line exists is because the toys were made first, and then they anime-fied them beyond belief.
Yeah.
And so there's that gap. Instead, they made the toys in that era. They made the toys in Spitting Image made that the cartoon model.
For those.
So there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
because you're kind of stuck with what you got. Same thing with like Cyberverse and Armada, that whole Unicron trilogy. Like, I don't really get the argument for a masterpiece.
I mean,
like Armada Prime and stuff, because they already got it.
I mean, I think you can do better. Then that's one thing I've finally learned. Like, there's been a bunch of toys like, oh, that was so good, I don't need another one. And then they do it, and I'm like, oh, that's what you do.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
totally right.
But
they can always do better.
But you're talking like, 20-30% better versus, G1 Ironhide versus Masterpiece Ironhide, where it's like, holy crap. And yes, I picked the worst case example. Those are so far off model. Like, they're not even remotely the same. But a lot of G1's that way. A lot of Beast Wars and Beast Machines, the US shows are that way because Mainframe went a completely different way with a lot of those animation models until later on. But then back to Beast Machines then, where the toys were hot garbage.
I guess just having the knowledge that I have now, having played with tons of Masterpiece toys and been there through all the upgrades over the years and the third-party stuff, I took this thing out of the box and I played with it a little bit because it comes in mammoth mode, so you had to go through that hell of turning into a robot.
Yep.
I was like, this isn't acceptable anymore. Like, you can fix this, fix that, fix that. I don't know exactly how, but I know like smarter people than I can make it happen. So I hope they do someday. That'd be cool. I would buy it.
I think it's amazing. So is this like the third time they've reissued that thing, like recently, like within the last year?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
definitely
I
overkill.
think so.
Yeah. Is it something like, is that like one of the few Optimus molds that they have that's like not G1 that they're like, all right, crank it out.
It might have something to do with the fact they were doing Lio Convoy and doing Burning Convoy. They're like, well, we're not going to do the big convoy, so let's just keep releasing the toy or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Japanese people think over at Takara Tomy. They have,
from what the wiki says,
they have their methods.
It's been reissued 7 times.
Oh, wow. So this is only 3
yeah.
recently, because I know they did the anime version, then the blue version, then this Matrix Buster version.
Yep.
Right.
Don't forget your boy Mammoth.
Blue Mammoth. or Ultra Mammoth, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this in the bottom of a bin. I forgot. I thought I sold it. I never did.
Oh, wow.
I bet that commands a good price. I get the feeling that's one that probably went up in value.
I was hoping so, but I thought I gave up and sold it, but then I found it in the bottom of something in my garage.
I remember when
Anna was excited. She might buy it. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
There you go.
I remember when Pete revealed that at BotCon, and he was just like, "I'm so happy that we finally got to this." He's like, "I was so convinced someone else was going to do this first." Like, and not necessarily even like that exact version, but like the Ultra Mammoth pun for Ultra
Just
Magnus.
the name.
Just like Optimus Primal and Ultra Mammoth. I mean, it's a clever name. I'll give them that.
It was good, and then I think a year later they showed us Radimus Prime. It was supposed to be Rat Trap as Rodimus. It was one of those things that didn't get completed.
Oh, what was it from?
It was Rat Trap, but it was like a hot rod looking.
Like Generations Rat Trap? Or
I don't know. It was one of those. It was that panel that Pete did at Pasadena where it was like, these are the BotCon exclusives that never got made.
So I tried to Google image search Radimus Prime, and Google says showing results for Natimus Prime. And, and she is busting out her top. I don't know who this lady is, but
that's some Nexus Maximus going on.
Yeah, and so I clicked it to show instead Radimus Prime, and I'm not seeing anything. So I'll have to look more later. I'm curious about it.
Well, I was happy to get that Matrix Buster because it kind of was another one of those sleeper Japanese releases that no one was really paying attention to because it was only it wasn't on Pulse. Yeah. It was a Takara Tomy only thing. So they are still getting some of their own exclusives, which I think is great. They should be able to, and just wish they were easier to get.
Yeah.
No, I know that's the thing is I wish that some of those Japanese figures that like they would somehow partner with like Amazon Japan or something. It would make it so much easier on people like us to where.
I think the idea is that it's direct to consumer from the manufacturer. Right. That's why they do Takara Tomy Mall. There's no middleman there, so they can like make the maximum profit.
So I found something related to the Radimus Prime on the Rodimus Primal's TF Wiki. It says a proposed BotCon concept by FunPub was a redeco of Transmetal Rat Trap into a beast form of G1 Rodimus Prime named Rodamouse
Oh, maybe that was it.
Rodimus.
to match
Rodamouse.
Optimus Primal and Ultra Mammoth as being Beast Wars maximal archetypes of Autobot leaders.
Nice.
Rodamouse. That sounds so much better.
Yeah. Thanks for correcting me because I was
That is
remembering that
great.
wrong.
I mean, either way.
It was only in a panel, so there's never been like the screen grab
Yeah.
of it or anything.
Yeah, so this was apparently at BotCon 2014. They talked about it. So
Yeah.
that's funny. Good work.
Rodamouse. That is my new favorite.
There you go. Jack's Google search was better than yours.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Well, I looked for. Well, I don't know. I got some pretty good results.
To be honest,
All right.
You're like, I swear, honey, it was Transformers. I was Googling Transformers stuff.
All right. So, what do y'all want to see next? Should I go with some third-party stuff or something that's technically not Transformers?
I want to see technically not Transformers because I mean, well, why not?
If you do, I'll do it.
Are we already breaking out the not Transformers?
Well, I mean, it's something I've talked about on the show before. It's part. But I got some new Beast boxes in, the latest 3 that came out. I tend to buy these in waves, so this one is super duper stupid cute. This is a panda, and because of course it is. He comes with a baby panda that fits into a corner when it's in box mode or whatever the hell, because that's what it does. But here he is. I was disappointed in that he's got these 2 guns, right? And they can peg onto him a couple different ways, and you can have them kind of like shoulder mounted launchers. But I don't know why. One of the guns just says, and you're not going to be able to read that, but it just says bamboo on it. What? Bamboo. Let's just tampo that onto it because it's a panda and that's what they eat. And it's like, if you're going to tampo something on there, why not bamboom? I mean, come on, the pun's right there, and they dropped it. So 0 out of 10.
They
Do
dropped
not buy.
You were you weren't working for him, man.
I know, right? But no, this is he's very simple. He's very cute, and yeah, just the little baby panda is just, I don't know. If you're into the line, it's a good addition. It's a solid chunky boy. Yeah, he's cute. And
So where do you get that kind of stuff? Does BBTS carry it?
Yeah,
they do?
Yeah.
Is it made by a U.S. manufacturer, or is it like an import?
it's an import because the boxes have some good English on them. Usually.
Oh.
English.
I mean, it's readable and the instructions are simple, but so he was cool. He's the cutest one I have. Probably the least interesting one is this thing, which turns into a whale. A whale of a good time, but it's like a whale ship. Whereas, I mean, these are all mechs. Like, all the animals are always like some sort of mech type, right? But so he turns into a whale, and as you can see, like, I'm transforming these slightly off camera, but he comes with a bunch of like little dudes. He's got a little orange submarine whale that just has some pegs that go in. He's got a little purple manta ray with a peg, and he's got a little cute. This one doesn't peg in. It's a little blue monkey that is based off of their other monkey, big guy. Like, it's just a tiny version of it that doesn't do anything. It's not paint or anything. But I don't know. He comes with these little things, and inside he actually has like full-on cockpit and seats and stuff, and that's kind of different. Like, I know that they're all like some sort of mech type thing, but they usually don't have seats. So it's kind of like an underwater vehicle that's also a whale. But it's cute, and these are usually like $20-$25 just for anybody. Like, they're not expensive. It's not although they're starting to pile up. I buy one of all the molds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you've had quite a collection now. I think my favorite of yours was the parrot one.
Everyone likes the parrot, yeah. The parrot's cool because it's like big, chunky movement, and it reminds me a lot of the third one I want to talk about, which is probably my favorite to mess with out of the bunch, which is this guy, which is a lobster. And like, doo-doo-doo. And again, it feels very similar. It's just like big, chunky movements. See if I can get his claws out here. And sorry, like, if somebody out there is like Ultimate Beast Box fan #1, is like, he's not using the names. Like, I don't remember the names of any of them. I look through and get one of each mold to play with, and but I don't. I guess technically it's like a half shrimp, half lobster. I'm not great at my secrets.
It's Lobclaw.
But he has.
That looks like a crayfish, like a straight up crayfish.
That's what it is.
there.
You're right. It's a crayfish. Yeah.
Crayfish, crawfish. I don't know if there's a difference or if they're the same. But
I remember catching them in the creek, and my cousin had a dog that liked to eat them in the creek, like just chase them around. But he's cool because he's got the nice segmented tail that has a joint in the middle, and like for such a small like little novelty toys, and like the joint is concealed. It's not like a break in the joint. It's got a nice round to it when you bend it. He's got his little legs here. These are all one piece that bend on. And then he's got, of course, his 2 big claws, and then his awesome looking like nose antenna that you can move around or whatever. All these have a couple different repaints of them that they do as well. Like this, they've been going ham with the line. But no, this is definitely my favorite. But yeah, the latest round of Beast Box Boys. So yeah,
I didn't know they were so big. Like the whale and that crayfish remind me of something. Have you ever played a game called like Darius or Darius Twin? Mm-mm. It's one of those side-scrolling jet games, kind of like R-Type or Gradius, but all the enemies were like these big giant fish ships. It sounds insane, but there was like a giant whale and a shark and like a seahorse, all these crazy things, and they were all robotic alien ships, and it looked just like that whale.
Here he is next to Turbo
Very
in car
cool.
mode.
So big.
Yeah, it's neat that, as you can see here when I held up the boxes, like, they stack. They interlock, and they can lock top or bottom or on the side if you so desire. And, like, all the boxes work with all the other boxes. So, you can store them and stack that way. So they always come to the same size, even though I do think some of them are a little smaller, like the earlier releases. And I haven't checked them because I don't keep them in that. I've had them in that because it was easy to store them until I had a chance to talk about it on the show. But
so they all turn into the same size box. Is that correct, or are there different sizes?
Like they're mostly all the same size. Like I think this is the first release, the Dino, like the little Dino Raptor, and this is a smaller box. Mm. But most of the rest of them since, if not all of them, have been the bigger box size. And I haven't delved into it deep enough to see like. Just to see, like, hey, do the boxes, are they still compatible or not? I'm not sure. But,
I find this very, very cool because, like, I don't really know a lot of, toy lines in the same space as Transformers because they kind of just dominate that transforming robot space in America, but there is room for lots of other things.
Yeah.
And in other countries, there's clearly, a way to do transforming robots that's creative and novel, and like that joint you're showing, that's like some cool engineering.
Yeah, and this is they're simple. They're great fiddle bots. They're great desk bots. I don't know. I think we've talked about on the show before. I remember when Peter was on. It's kind of like I also enjoy collecting Rock Lords obviously and cassettes. And all of them just transform into basic shapes, and that's kind of the appeal of these. They just transform into basic shapes. They're not overly complex. Some of them have like pretty neat transformations, like, oh, that's what it does. And the Parrot is one of those. He has some cool transformation moves in here that, like, it wouldn't surprise me if you picked it up and think, oh, I can transform this quickly. You wouldn't be able to. It's going to take you a minute to wrap your head around how it works because it's unique. Some of the other ones are more straightforward.
So they're able to really, they're kind of like leaning into the puzzle part of Transformers that, like, I feel like with all the fiction and the characters and all the mythos that's built around it, they've been able to kind of like not really care about that part so much.
Like, they're all over the map. So like, the bird is pretty neat transformation, and the lobster has, quite a bit of steps on it, but then you got like this whale or, the whale scuba ship thing. It's very basic. It's not complex at all. It's super simple. A 3-year-old could figure it out. So they kind of really run the range, and I don't know. I think they get creative with it, and they get very cute with them too. So
are they each kind of the same price
like
point?
$25, somewhere
really?
in there.
Okay.
Like they're not expensive at all. It's a cheap hobby compared to the rest of the crap we buy.
Yeah, that's very cool. Thanks for sharing,
Lucas.
right, so Rob, like it's been a while, but we mentioned like I got my first statue, and you're like, you should probably just keep it to one, and yeah, that hasn't happened.
But I know
So
you
I've
were
been
still you had a goal in mind. You were like, I'm buying this. I'm going to buy X amount of cons. Like you had a display in mind, and you were building to that display.
right. So anyway, so I'm now at this point. Had gotten all the ones that had come out. And so they had, but I've been slowly doing it. As I've sold stuff and whatever. And so they came out with a couple of the Seekers, and I've been waiting on like getting those because it's like, I'm going to, whatever. So anyway,
enough with the
I'm
foreplay. Let's get to the money shot.
I like that. I like that Rob reminded you of your like plan you told us about a year ago, and you just kind of laughed, like, "Oh yeah, that was dumb." So I can't wait to see what this is.
So anyway,
bought 8 of them at once.
So I go to BBTS, right? So like I've gotten like BBTS is the sole distributor for North America. I go in to check, and it's like, oh crap, Skywarp is out of stock. And like none of these have been out of stock. Like I've been able to get none of them have sold out. And so I emailed BBTS and they're like, nope, we're not getting any more, man. Sorry. So I post I'm part of they have a group on Facebook. This company is from Singapore, but they have a Facebook group. And so anyway, so I'm posting. I'm like, I can't believe. Does anyone know a lead on how to get this thing?
Since you can't have it, you just had to have it like 8 times more, right?
Well, obviously. And so anyway, so the guy that runs the company is like part of that group or whatever. So he like posts, he's like, hey, hit me up or whatever. So I talked to him and he's like, hey, we still have, some of these left at the factory. I can ship it straight from the factory. I'll get you a quote and whatever. So he like, I'm like, yeah, I'm interested or whatever. So he like goes, he like comes and gets me a quote the next day, and it's in Singapore dollars, and the conversion, by the time I did the conversion and the shipping and everything, it like was a similar price to what BBTS would be. Like I think it was like $15 more or whatever. And so I'm like, okay.
What kind of price range are we talking here? Like
these are like $400.
Okay.
So
so the statue market's exploded.
It's not $1,000.
Yeah.
Like I know that there's statues out there that are 1,000 or that Devastator is like 3,000 or whatever.
That they're gonna make 10 of.
Oh,
so
and it's make toys giant.
Anyway, so I go ahead and pay, and then he like emails me the next day. He's like, "Hey, bad news.
I've ran off with your money. Thanks. Later."
No. Like bad news is
Usually they don't tell you that.
My luck.
Unfortunately, like there's an issue because the factory's in China.
Yeah.
He's like, there's a slight issue with getting things from China,
yeah.
but DHL still ships stuff from China. So he's like, it costs more. We're going to eat what the cost. I don't know how much extra it costs to actually ship this thing out, but they shipped it DHL or whatever, and I got it like 3 days later or whatever.
That's solid of them.
But here
oh my
is
lord,
my Skywarp statue.
Oh, and look, Paul's left for the money shot here.
So, and what's really cool too about this is like the stand on it is a Decepticon symbol.
I think it's huge.
nice.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's like, I don't know. I think it's like 18 inches total, maybe something like that.
Wow, that's really purple.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's like almost like a pinkish purple, but it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, it totally does.
So
I love that you get these because these are not on my radar at all. Like I missed the news on these. I don't know what they are. Like when you say Imaginarium Arts, I know what that is, but it doesn't like there's no picture in my brain, so it's cool to actually. It says like this is like seeing something for the first time.
And which company is this?
Imaginarium Art.
Just said it.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds.
I mean, the thing that I like about
Jack.
about these figures in general is like I just like the the sculpt that they do on the figures, like I just think that the action pose, like I could never pose a figure like this and get it like that in the display. And so like that's what really draws me in, is that I've had these and I've been slowly getting them, like for whatever various milestones. And I still really enjoy looking at them just because I feel like the shelf presence that they have is really neat.
So, how many are you up to now?
Well, so
You can't just answer that. I gotta
Well,
the
if I had to count which one.
so I ended up, because the fact this one sold out, and I was like, I didn't know if I'd get the next one. I didn't show off the other one, but now I'm up to 7 total, which is pretty much
Damn.
yeah. So they're planning on in the line making, I think, 12 total. However, one of them is that Devastator, which I'm not getting the Devastator. So that Devastator
Tune in next week when Lucas talks about how he just got in the Devastator.
Famous last words.
No. So that Devastator is 40. Okay, it's 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide. It's 48 inches tall and 48 inches. Like by the time they do it, and they essentially what they did is they took Make Toys Giant,
which is so hilarious,
and upscaled it. Like it is literally like if you took that, it looks exactly.
It's 100%
like
Make
that.
Toys Giant. Like it's not a if and or but.
Oh yeah, I definitely see it.
And Hasbro approved that.
Yeah,
The Legacy of Cybertron one, or
no, they all said like, yeah, Hasbro loved it. They thought it looked great. So
It is a great looking Devastator. I'm gonna give them that.
Sure.
But yeah, so I literally do not have the space like to display. I mean, my kids, I don't
Like,
think
that's
are that
gonna
tall.
stop you.
Yeah. So,
Where are you gonna put
Dedicated.
Did you buy Unicron? You know where the hell you're gonna put that?
no?
Because I don't.
Yeah, you gotta have a toy to hold your Unicron, and it sounds like Devastator is the one.
oh.
Unicron's going on the roof. He's the next year's Christmas decoration.
Yeah, now you're right. I did get Unicron, so that is like I don't know where I'm going to put that at.
I think
so.
we're all in that.
$3,000.
You got me there. Yeah, it's 3. Yeah, the Make Toys or whatever,
Yeah.
the
Legacy of Cybertron, Devastator.
Legacy of Cybertron and whatever Devastator is $3,000. I'm like, nah, I can't.
Oh.
I can't do
Nah,
that.
bruh.
So do you have the other Seekers?
So I have.
They all have different poses. Is my
Yes.
next. Okay,
They
cool.
do.
So they're all unique statues. They're not like a redeco statue.
Oh no, they're all 100% unique. They all have completely different.
Do the bases interlock or no?
No, they don't. Like, it seemed like that they were going to, but like every base has been unique. I think the only ones like this one and the Thundercracker base are both Decepticon symbols. But like all the other ones, like I don't know, they've done different bases. I mean, they all look cool, but
So how many more are you gonna get? Are you gonna stop with? Are you gonna get everything Imaginarium does? Sans Devastator in theory. Like if they keep going past their 12 or whatever, you're gonna keep buying them. Are you gonna start mixing brands?
no. I only have the space for I could probably do 11 of them and put it in the space that I have, but that's the most I could do.
So here's my predictions: is tune in next show for Lucas buys Devastator, and then on that show tune in for the next show after that where Lucas sells all his statues. That's
No, well, see, this is the problem with statues is that like they're not easy to sell because they're quite large.
it's such a small
Like,
market
you can't-
that's interested in them.
Well, that too, but like even if you wanted to sell them, like I mean, just the shipping cost, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. It's crazy that you guys have that, that like fantasy statue store you took me to in Kansas City. I've never seen anything like that before. I wonder if that's been influencing you slightly.
No, that was the first time I was there. But no, I mean, like for me, obviously, like I've got just like you guys, I have a zillion transforming robots. So, I mean, I think for me, like, I really enjoy the art aspect of it. And, like, I have a lot of, I've shown off that I have original art pieces from the comics and stuff like that, too. And so that's kind of just, like, part of my collection. And so that's what, like, um, you know, I want to set up my living room. Like I got that Andrew Griffith did like a 3 foot by 4 foot picture, and I mean I guess I could show that off on Ask My Wallet at some point. But like, that thing's massive. I want to put that on my wall and then put some of the original art pieces around it. I just have not got around to doing that yet. So
Well, you got some time, right?
it's true.
All right,
Yeah.
Jack.
Very cool.
Well, I'm gonna do a throwback because,
Go for it.
and I mean throwback by like last year because I don't think I actually properly showed this off. But when I was in Vegas last year, I went to Rogue Toys, which is one of the more hotter toy stores down in Vegas, and I ended up finding this big. Keep going around.
Oh, nice.
It's Optimal
He was-
Optimus.
He was complete. I think the only thing he was missing was the instruction booklet, but he was complete. All the missiles were there. It's got all his, shoulder
Shields.
shields. Electronics still work perfectly. The box was still in pretty decent shape, actually. Only got it for $90.
Oh, that's a good price.
So I was like, eh.
And I assume the
So,
chrome's good on it, the vac metal chrome.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The only problem I have is that a few of the plastic pieces in the weapon pack back here are kind of breaking off, so I'm gonna have to find a junker one to do a little surgery on. Otherwise, he is still solid.
That's such a that was we were talking about toy accuracy. Toy accuracy earlier. That's one that by that point mainframe and the toys were more in lock and key. Like that's how it looks on the show. So like when they did the Generations toy, I felt it was a downgrade in every way. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's great for like a younger kid. It's like, oh, here's a modern update to Dad's toy that he had that it's beat to absolute crap. So it's like it's something nice for a younger kid. I'm like, I didn't find the Power of the Primes one too appealing because I always wanted this one, and I was luckily found it for $90. Much better.
Yeah.
Twice the price and just the OG dude. So
I mean, it's one of those where I feel that the original just really stomps on the new one. The new one doesn't look terrible sitting on a shelf or whatever. I think their biggest, I love the idea of, it has the other primal in it that can transform and do things, but
turns into a slab.
Yeah, but it doesn't disconnect.
Quote MGO.
It doesn't disconnect, and it's stuck on there, like where they shoved a pin through it. They should have just made a friction so you could pop it off and have them separate, and that toy would have been so much better. But ultimately, I find the original just so much more it's bulky and impressive and imposing. It's just interesting how the times have changed.
That's kind of the same way with that Galaxy Prime that came out too.
Yeah.
It was the same. I mean, obviously it has a lot more articulation and all that. But if you have that compared to the original, you're like, the original is just, it seems so much more impressive.
Oh, the Cybertron Optimus?
Yeah, Cybertron one.
Yeah,
Yep.
I could now see him just beneath or beyond your right shoulder there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another one I was like, I don't think I'm going to get. I want to find the original Cybertron because I had them. Obviously, for some whatever stupid reason, my idiot self gave them away. And
That's one of the few Cybertron or even Unicron trilogy toys I still have is that Prime. And that's another reason why I didn't buy the new one. I was like, the only thing it's missing, in my opinion, is that the guns don't actually properly sling underneath him. And he doesn't hold them. But the point is, he looks like he is holding them-ish on the shelf. I can live with it because he just does enough rest of it right. Yeah. All right, so we've been going for a little over an hour here. I think we should probably call it unless people had something they want to do, a real quick lightning round. But I don't think I have anything. Oh, I
don't have anything.
got
The original round I had before I realized Optimal Optimus was a thing. I think I did the last time I was on, so I don't really have anything.
Well, I wanted to share my first non-Transformer thing ever on the show, but I much more want to show this Transformer thing I got. So
You got a lightning round then?
yeah,
All right, let's go.
I wish I had the box with me, but
Bazinga!
this is that Japanese version of 38 Optimus that came with. It was a 35th anniversary toy.
What's different about it? Like I don't.
It's painted
It's
like
just-
G1
yeah, it's
Optimus.
Just
Okay.
paint.
Yeah.
And it's bright, and it's not just paint because this is like red plastic.
Oh,
And
yeah,
all the
it's a lot
plastic.
brighter.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
much
okay.
more G1y than
Yeah.
than the Studio Series one is. It's the only redeco of it, but I should have brought the box over. That's what's impressive because they made like a G1 box for this toy,
Yeah, okay.
and it has cool
Is he in
artwork
truck
on
mode?
it. Yeah.
Nice.
What's actually crazy is it's a 2-pack. It comes with G1 reissue Optimus. It's basically like the Japanese release of what they did at Walmart.
Yep.
But the box they both come in is amazing. It's this cardboard box, and then a cardboard box inside of that, and then they both have like back flaps, and there's this weird cardboard fold-out thing that gets in between them and keeps the flaps straight, like back to back,
Nice.
and it also fills in the gap of the where there's usually empty air. You know, where if you were packing them, you'd put two together and like do it side by side. It's just interesting. If you ever get a chance to get the set, you'll see what I mean. But it didn't seem to be a super popular thing. I just had it in my BBTS pile of loot
Now
for
you
like
got
6
me.
months.
You
I got
got me
what?
interested, you
I
jerk.
can't. Feel like
Well, it's-
ship it.
Well, you can only get it as a 2-pack, and it's the G1 Optimus
okay.
and the Studio Series one. It was around $100, I think, in the end. It might. I have a feeling it made clearance like sometime this year. So if you're interested, I don't know how. It didn't seem like anyone else bought this but me. So.
Yeah.
I would imagine it will probably get clearance, but I finally got it, and I think it looks great, and it's a good toy. And the box, it's mostly the box that's really cool, though.
Yeah.
Because you get that artwork that it looks like it's the Studio Series Prime from Bumblebee, but he looks like the G1 artwork, even the stance. So
Oh, let's see.
Cool. All right, so
Yep,
for my-
$100 on BBTS for anybody who's interested, and that somebody's most likely me.
So something that didn't cost $100, along with my Seacons from Collecticon Toys, I got these two little dudes. These are the Target Masters that came with Skywarp. Because I didn't need Siege Skywarp, but I did need Shroot to go with Spinister, and so now I have that, and I got a bonus pterodactyl that turns into an axe. And I originally didn't really care about this part; it just came along with it, and now I actually really like it. It's cool. I like the blast effect on it, because it's chopping or whatever. So I think that's neat, and it's actually, it's pretty fun. I'm glad I have a version of it now. So, yay, Spinister can finally be complete. And now that I've talked about it, I can go put it over there. Only thing I don't like are Shroot's blast effects. They're not mirrored, I know I could turn it around or whatever, but you turn it around, and now it's like dipping the other way. I don't know what the deal is, but they have these curve on them, and I don't overly care for it. But it's
freaking laser beams, man.
but it's not a big deal either way. So, hooray for Target Masters! And it's pretty hard to find these by themselves. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at.
And the other one was Fracas, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
So I was able to snag a Skywarp set on Amazon last week for
really?
$50.
What did it show up for like 5 seconds and then go away?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was like in and out all this one particular day, and luckily my text group was like, everyone's like, "Oh my god, I got it!" So I got one. It was great.
And then it's gone. And
See ya.
Sergio said his shipped like today. And he's like, "I won the TF lottery."
Of course, now that there's a new Skywarp coming out, though, so.
He's like, oh, damn it.
but it's not a Tetrajet.
Oh, true.
I'm glad those molds are like so different. That's at least good.
Do you have anything for a lightning round, Lucas?
All right, so non-transformer. This is a Q-Fig.
Aw.
So I am out of Marvel Legends because I can't do Marvel Legends. Just too many of them. So I
know.
did.
I
I
was
did these
thinking
cute
the same
things
thing,
instead.
but
So
I'm,
like these are I don't know, kind of like an alternative to Pops and stuff like that. But they actually do like they're these like little cutesy figures, but they actually do like they're kind of neat little statues. So this is the Venom. It's like $20.
Like that's both really cute and really gross. I like how
Yeah.
they managed to strike that balance because you have this huge tongue that for some reason is dripping green, which
Mm.
is
yummy.
it's super gross, but they still managed to make it cute. So it's
Oh,
neat.
he's so cute yet disgusting.
I like the teeth.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So that was my lightning round.
You got a lightning round, Jack?
I do not.
Okay. Well then, thank everybody for tuning in today. That's our show. Ouch My Wallet, part of the TF Talk Network, and this show has ended, but there are many shows to come. Friday will be the next show on YouTube. Will be Cut the Tape, and then on Sundays we will have our TF Talk news will go up. That's a pre-recording. It's made for audio, but you can listen to it on YouTube if you like. There's of course Monday is our bread and butter show, our Transformers for Your Listening Pleasure live podcast here on YouTube, and then Tuesday nights is Microcasters on Facebook, where we pick a figure and we review it. So make sure to tune into our other shows. And as usual, if you like us and what we do, you can hit us up on Patreon at patreon.com/TFYLP. Although right now, make sure you're supporting your local businesses. Help keep them in business as best you can. We'll be all right. But if you still got a little love to spend, hit us up. We have cheap tiers starting at $1. I think that wraps it up. Oh, and
Did you mention the Discord?
I was just about to. Yeah, we have a Discord channel as well that we're in there chatting all the time. It's great for chatting with us in live chat as well if you don't want to chat on YouTube or Facebook or wherever we are, and just all the other goodies as well. There's a link in the description below here on YouTube, as well as there's a Bitly link for it. Do you have that handy, Paul?
Bit.ly.com/TF Talk Discord.
I think it's actually bit.ly/.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no one says that.
But that's what it is. But yeah.
It might
So, there you
sound fun, but it's bit.ly.
Yeah, so a couple different ways you can get in there and chat with us. Discord's a real-time chat program, which is on your phone. It's on your desktop as well. It's a great app. Yeah, so that's going to do it for tonight. And, thanks for our live viewers joining in. And it's fun chatting with everybody, with Rodimus and Zaldron and a few others.
Our regulars.
You know it. All right, so with that, good night, everybody.
Toodles.